You can't just pick any random 3 quotes. That would be garbage in, garbage out. You need to pick one from the beginning, one from the middle, and you've guessed it, one from the end. Why? Because this is A01, completion of the whole task. Having those 3 shows that you're dealing with the whole of the novel. But there is more. You have to choose high value quotes. What are high value quotes? They are ones which allow you to write about the author's ideas. So we're going to dive into Dickens' ideas, and you're going to discover how to apply them to get grade 9. When he's thinking about the poor, Scrooge says why they had better die and decrease the surplus population. This, of course, is fantastic because it happens at the beginning of the novel, so we can show how Scrooge's journey overturns that view. Here's some more grade 9 content. This comes from Malthusian economics. Remember that phrase, bash, there it is on the screen. Malthusian economics held that the poor were a drain on society. They were going to cost all of us, even the well-off, because we would have to give our money and resources to sustain them. And that is why Scrooge thinks they are better off being dead. Obviously they aren't, but society is. So the method you're going to use to describe that is that it is a political illusion, bosh, and it conveys a social, grade 7, political message. It also does something very interesting. It says to the reader, look, Scrooge is a horrifying miser who I've caricatured and portrayed in the most horrifying yet comic ways. However, you, dear reader, support Malthusian economics because you support the poor law, which supports the workhouses and the prisons. Consequently, his argument is that in order to transform society, we have to transform the reader's political views. Social responsibility. The key words, just chucking grade 9s at you. We can get even more bang for our buck with this quote. Imagine the ghost of Christmas present. Scrooge asks if Tiny Tim will live, and the ghost repeats Scrooge's words to him. What of it then, he says, he had better die and decrease the surplus population. Again, stave 3, central to Dickens' argument, and the repetition, there's your method, the illusion, there's the method again, reinforces for the reader that this is the core message of the novel. Society must transform just as Scrooge transforms. These quotes, they're going to transform your grade. 9's coming. You want to write about ignorance and want. These apparitions are not actually human beings. They are representations, illusions. This is the terminology that you're going to use. They are metaphors which carry Dickens' message. Well, his message is, if society does not look after the poor, it is going to lead to violence. How do we get that? The quote is, that which is doom, written on the brow of ignorance. Who is ignorance? The boy child, who is likely to be more violent, and also the child who is uneducated, hence the name ignorance. So what's Dickens saying? He's saying it's not just enough to give loads of money to charity to help the poor. That isn't going to solve the long-term problems society faces. No, what will solve the long term is education. Get rid of ignorance, erase doom from the brow of the poor, and suddenly you will have prosperity and hope. Ignorance and want are the key to you delving into this. You can also add a grade 9 structure point. These characters, these metaphors appear exactly in the middle of the novel. There are 5 staves and they're in stave 3. This is Dickens' way of focusing our attention and saying, look, this is the pivot on which Scrooge's transformation depends. I want to transform Scrooge in order to fix what's wrong with society. I want to transform Scrooge to show you, dear reader, how you can transform. Let us end ignorance and let us end want. Grade 9 is easy when you know how. When we come to the end of the novel, the final words are about Scrooge becoming a second father to Tiny Tim. Fatherhood is the tipping point that changes Scrooge. Now, Scrooge's transformation is based on becoming a father figure to Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim is the symbol of the poor that society should look after. Scrooge's relationship with Tiny Tim shows us that in society we are all interconnected. The poor depend on us, but our happiness in terms of Scrooge's joy depends on bringing joy to others. That is a key message of the novel. If you would like to see how to apply all this in the exam, I'm offering a masterclass on A Christmas Carol. The link is in the description. Oh, the sunny uplands are coming. With the poor.